Sweat dripping off my nose.
And we are live.
Yay!
And scare everybody and go live.
Yep. Boo. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I figured I'd go live this evening. I know there are some that are actually going to be still doing auctions and whatnot this evening, but yeah. What the heck?
Well, not every live has to be an auction. Some people just want a place to hang out. They
Yeah.
don't want to get out in the heat. They don't want to get out in the bullshit. They just want a place to hang out.
Yeah, someplace to hang out until it's time for the fireworks. For
Yeah.
those that enjoy those, or for those that don't because they got, critters that don't like all the boom bang and carrying on.
Yeah. They don't seem to be bothering the munchkin. But Aspen, of course, she's been hiding out on the regular. For at least 15 minutes after the neighbor just east and
Tony,
across the street of
long
us.
time no see, sweetheart.
Hey, Tony. Yeah, we've got a neighbor just east and across the street. There's a couple of families there that I believe are related that have homes side by side. And they gang up in one of them's yard and set out the lawn chairs and pull out the beer and start popping off M80s on the regular.
Yeah.
Those great big firecracker boomer whatchamajiggets. I think that's what they're called. That's what I call them, anyways. And yeah, shake the house,
Oh,
scare the cat,
last
scare
time we
me.
had some that were, at least this time they weren't doing their fireworks in the dumpster. They were doing them outside of the dumpster.
Well, that's helpful. Okay, I just had. I didn't pick that back up and shove it back in the bag,
Well,
did I?
glad things are starting to come around for you, dear.
Of course I did. I picked it right back up and shoved it back in the bag. There's talent for you. I am starting this. This is a Mill Hill Treasures kit. It's cross stitch with beads, beaded cross stitch. And there's also ribbon embroidery in it as well. Hey, Kathy. Separate the two strands out. What's that side too? The other side's bigger.
Lots of health issues, but like I said, I'm glad things are coming and straightening out for you.
I can relate, Tony. I have tons too. I have a laundry list.
When you're
right there.
plays hell with your mental health when you got other health issues.
Yeah. People say, well, at least you're still kicking. Yeah, not very high, not very fast. Yeah. And it hurts like hell to do it, but yeah, I guess so. There are some days you hurt so bad you can't decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But you just keep on plodding on.
Yep.
Too stubborn not to. And I got water, sweat, dripping off my nose again. It's like hanging there. I got thread in my hand, so I can't reach up. Oh, that itches. Okay, here we go. Oh, thank God. Yeah, it's so hot here, guys, that I am sitting here working on this, and I have sweat dripping off my nose like an old lady in her garden. And I'm just sitting on my sofa with the air conditioner going and a fan going. So I need to snip this.
Well, like you said, things are starting to turn around, so prayers be with you. That keeps going with you. You know.
Yep. Yeah, I'm at a challenging point right now. I am without pain management. Haven't had pain management now for about last spine injection was like 2 months ago. It wore off within 2 weeks. Strained my back rescuing the kitten
And two birds.
and two birds, and it has left my overall pain levels amped up higher than normal without pain management. And we are waiting on pre-approval from my insurance, which we should get this week. They're going to do Novocaine injection test runs on the nerve bundle in the center of my spine to see if, when those are numb, whether or not my pain level improves substantially. They're going to do 2 rounds of those, each requiring pre-approval. And if that is successful, then once those 2 rounds have been done and it can be scheduled, I will be going in and having those nerve endings burned off with that will, if the Novocaine things are effective, and they do that 6 months to 2 years, depending on how fast the nerve endings regrow,
Yep.
of pain relief instead of having to get injections every 6 weeks that aren't working. If that doesn't work, then we are going to proceed with getting I think my brain just drew a blank. It's an implant of basically an internal TENS unit. And there will be delay in that because it requires, of course, insurance pre-approval, and for whatever reason, a psychiatric evaluation, and then scheduling to have that done in Topeka during fuel prices as they are right now and everything. Trying to get up there with our vehicle. It's definitely going to take some family involvement, like my brother, to get me there. And it depends on the surgeon as to whether it's a day surgery or they keep you overnight for observation. Otherwise it would just be a day surgery unless there was complications that would prompt that. But some surgeons apparently require you to stay over regardless, which I'm not keen about. I don't like hospitals, never have, never will. My one experience as an adult in them, I was terrorized.
Patient.
Oh, I can relate to that too, Tony. Yeah, I've been disabled since I was just barely 36. So I hear you. I'm 52 now. We'll be 53 in September. So yeah, I totally get it. It's no fun. Everybody's like, oh, well, you don't have to work. You get to stay home. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, right. Oh, it's so great. No, it's not. I miss work. I loved working. Everybody thinks I'm nuts when I say that, but I am dead serious. I loved my work. But yeah. So instead, you sit at home, you bounce off the walls, and do a lot of crafts. Yeah, crafts. Just to try to stay sane.
I can honestly say while I have good work ethic, I'm not one that enjoyed working. I like my role as being domestic.
I enjoyed domestic. I didn't love it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I liked it. Didn't love it. But I did a good job of it. I was disciplined, and but I still enjoy domestic. Don't love it, but I enjoy it. Um, Enjoyed being married, but can live without it. And I've lived without it now. Um, in November, it will be 30 years, I believe. Let's see. Yes, 30 years. So, um, I enjoyed being married. I enjoyed being a wife. Um, didn't enjoy the bullshit, but is what it is.
So yeah, I had my first official reseller sale last week on Thursday on Creative Carol's
Carol's
channel.
Creative Corner.
Yep, I never can say it right.
Yeah.
And everything went really well.
She did awesome, guys. Total
And
pro.
I got all my invoices sent out. Everyone has paid. And because even though I have a original PayPal account and I now have my business account, PayPal, in its infinite wisdom, and mine as well because I didn't think about it, has put a hold on everything that was sent to me for 21 days.
Yeah, they do that. Then they expect, they'll free it when they get a tracking number.
Yeah. Well,
But yet they're holding the shipping. It's like, what? But yeah, that's what they do.
I've got some funds in my personal account, and I'm going to send a couple of the packages out so that they can be gotten. And what have you, so that those funds can be released so that I can get the others sent out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that funds can start being released. I'll have to make sure that I put those tracking numbers in on PayPal so that PayPal knows when they've been
Basically received. The funds that you already have in your PayPal, you're going to use to ship out as many as you can to free other funds that will then allow you to ship out others. You're going to process it that way, and then your profit margin will come out on the tail end.
Yeah. So
but
it's going to be a little bit slow for the course of about a week, but it's going to get done, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, oy vey.
Well, it's a process that has to happen, and you'll get her done.
With me not thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
And doing a a quick sale to say send you a quick invoice, of something and ship it to you right quick. And
it's just crazy.
And then, that way it was established.
Yeah. Well, yeah, once you get that done to whatever limit they require that frees it up, then it'll go normal. Just getting it started out, you got to have some starter funds to do that.
For just a hot minute, but everything will work out in the end, and then I won't have any troubles whatsoever.
Yeah. Just be patient. Give her a few days here, guys, because with the holiday and then that process being required, she'll probably be shipping packages pretty much every day here this week.
To print out a couple of the labels. And I've got the numbers ready to go to put into PayPal for those. And
Yeah,
Fuck. Oh, man, it's hot in here.
here too.
Well, there are no trees for any kind of shade. Hi, Angie.
Well, thanks for stopping in, Tony. It's good to know that you're doing a bit better and was up to at least popping in, and
Well, thank you.
prayers that you continue
Thank
to
you, Tony,
improve
for popping in.
and or doctors get their shit together and get you the treatments that
Get
work.
everything squared away, honey. You know, and things keep going well and keep getting brighter and brighter for you.
Definitely. Hello, Angie.
And hello, Wendy.
Hello, Wendy. I'm wanting to start on this, but I'm sweating so bad I'm afraid I'm going to drip it on my fabric and
Right.
stain it. You know, I think what I might end up doing is putting this away and just taking apart a purse because I do not want to damage my fabric.
Do you have anything that you can deconstruct?
Yeah, I'm working on one. I've got it right here by me. I'm just going to do a change up here because this and the sweat ain't going to work together. I don't want to start something and have it ruined from sweat. That ain't no fun.
Sweating our bums off, Wendy.
Yeah, it's hotter than the hubs of you know what here today. I mean, I'm just trying to get this thing ready. I have to keep stopping because I have sweat dripping off the end of my nose and itching like mad, and driving me nuts. And yeah, I could just see one of those droplets hitting my cloth, and there comes a big nasty stain. And it's a process once you've got the fabric or the threads in it. To do that, you can't bleach it, anything like that, because it'll bleach the fibers. It just really does not need to be like this today.
Hello, Barbara. How's Miss Bustamante this
Hey,
evening?
Barbara. Oh,
Oh, sorry to hear that, Wendy.
what's up?
Her pupper dog crossed
Oh,
the Rainbow Bridge back in May.
oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, we lost our dog about 3 years ago now, over the 4th of July weekend. And of my original cats, I have one remaining, and she is now hospice kitty and has been for the past good 6 months or better. She's on the super slow decline. It's slow
Oh,
cancer.
yo, Bones.
Hey, Bones. Changing it up here. Oh, and this is a project thing that I made a couple years, 2 years ago. Embroidery, patchwork. What, Callie? Yes, I'm putting this away. I'm going to switch to this. Yeah, we're going to do that instead. Yeah, there's Miss Callie.
Let's tell Wendy, we're sweating our bums off over here, Bones. Even with
Choo
the
choo.
ACs and fans.
Off the table. Choo choo. Good girl. Thank you.
Okay, Angie.
Yeah, we're sweating our patooties off. Literally dripping sweat off the end of my nose like a grandma in a garden.
I love that.
Yeah, that was Callie cussing me out as usual. Oh, that was a hideous sound. Sorry about that, guys. This is the bag. This is its frame. This is the handle. The frame has been removed. and in the process of disassembling the bag, and it will be reconstructed. I like this design, but it's got loose beads, rotting thread, what have you.
Oh no, Wendy.
So I'm totally deconstructing it.
Callie,
And
Callie is the last remaining of her original
yes,
elder kitties.
yes, Miss Callie
She's
is
still got uh, Sable.
yeah, Sable, Aspen, and then we've added Esme, who is an orange long-haired, and Jasmine, who is kind of a mashup of Calico and Tabby and Torty. Um, and I think she's going to be a medium length fur. And she is right on the 3 month, 2.5, 3 month mark now.
Yep.
Um, is now free ranging in the house as of last weekend, Sunday. And so she doesn't have to be crated at night anymore or anything like that. Um, and is probably passed out somewhere. She might turn up.
Probably in one of
But,
her Heidi's.
yeah. Well, one of her Heidi's got taken away last night when we moved furniture. But she's she's in her holy terror 2 year terrible twos kind of phase, and she was rescued. That tarpaulin that they put under on the under the base of a mobile home. There was a section that was tattered under our trailer, dangling down in threads, and she had gotten tangled up in that and was strangling. And I heard her through the vent right next to the air conditioner, or the heater, whatever you want to call it, and got a psychic call, screaming, "Help me! Help me! Help me! Can't breathe."
Be right back, gang.
Okay. So I went running out, ripped some skirting off, and there was a kitten hanging, and I couldn't get to her. So I called Sis. Sis rushed home from work, and I kept her calm till she got there, and she got up under there and got her freed. And the mom and her siblings had been living under the trailer, and apparently mom had moved. The other kittens couldn't move her, so she left her behind. So she was abandoned by mommy, and she is now part of our family and is thriving. She had some little cuts on her neck and one leg, back leg, from the edges of the tarping where she was fighting it. And those are all healed up, gone. And yeah, she's thriving. Esme, she was, I think, a kitty mom's first litter and just a single kitten. And she is full on aggressive alpha. She was basically tearing up mom's tummy and her nips. And I think mom walked away from her because she just literally couldn't take the pain anymore. That was last year. And, we watched for hours and hours and hours until nightfall. And mom didn't come back. And so we took her in. And like I said, she's a year old now and thriving as well. They are doing awesome. So we, again, have 5 cats. We were down to 3 and expecting to be down to 2. And yeah, it went back to 5. But that's okay. But yeah, Miss Callie is slow growth cancer. She is over 20 years old. Not a surgical option.
A long time.
Yes, it has. But yeah, all of our others have passed over the past about 3.5 years from old age. So, but Sable is now 8, Aspen is 7, Esme is a year, And Jasmine, the youngest, is, I think, 13 weeks.
Should be 3 months old around the 11th of the month.
Okay. So she's 11 weeks, going on 12, something like that. They've run together. But yeah, she's probably spread out on Sis's bed, wrapped around Esme, because Esme has become her mentor and her carer. She keeps her clean and has been reprimanding her and showing her her boundaries, at least the ones that she's figured out. Esme being only a year old and a full-on alpha. Yeah, there's a few that she's still learning, but she's doing everything to help. She's a sweetheart.
Because you figure she was born somewhere around the 10th or 11th of April.
Yeah, right around your birthday, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But
Miss Cynthia.
hello, Cynthia.
So that I can get you smurfed.
Mute for a second. Blow my schnoz.
There you go. Doing all right. Figured I'd have a hangout so everybody could have a place to go if they didn't have something going on. And if they weren't going to an auction or sale or, didn't have any family function or whatever going on. Oh, Wendy, he's doing all right. He's piddling along. Miss Cynthia, around here we do the blue for those that I know, because I don't, that way it's just easier. You can click on the three dots on the side and go visit people if you want to check out their channels, and there's no chance for folks to be vengeful and time people out or any kind of crazy BS.
Yeah, you don't have trolls coming in.
Yeah. That way, if somebody comes in and nobody knows who they are, we know who the trolls are.
Yeah.
If nobody can vouch for them, then, and they start acting a fool, then, that's just the way it works. If I haven't seen you around when I'm out and about visiting other channels, etc.,
Yep, it's just a way to keep people safer and,
because I don't like drama. I like to have a good time. I like to have laughs.
Exactly. We want the lighter side, the fun side of YouTube. But the darker side tries to encroach every once in a while, and this way they stand out like a sore thumb.
We do. We have moments where, we have what we call bitch fests.
Oh, yeah. We let it rip every once in a while.
But generally, it's really easy going around here.
Yep.
The one that was having the respiratory issues, Wendy, or the urinary issues, whichever case it was, I can't remember. That too, Cynthia. Also, if you know of a channel that is doing something similar that, we talk about, say, like, you know, we we like crafts and things.
Yeah,
And
we're always looking for craft hangouts or just hangouts with.
we're always looking for craft hangouts.
Yeah, I love a craft hangout. Cause yeah, I'm oftentimes doing crafts
Oh,
when I'm sitting
George,
here.
I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? The one that had bladder issues is doing great, but it took your youngest one. Everybody had the cat flu.
That's no fun. Feline influenza is no joke.
Oh, this
But the
is
one that
over.
I've seen that's even worse than that is Giardia or
Just chicken.
Cryptosporidium. Um, I've experienced two kittens that, after they got their first vaccines, came down with Giardia. Usually, if they're in a weakened state when I get them, I build them up. I wait until they're in a really good place before I give the shots. But um, there can be things lurking, and if their immune system has been compromised when they were younger, and you start those shots, um, yeah, sometimes Giardia or Cryptosporidium will pop up. Um, it's their normal bacterial organisms that live in the body, but if their immune system has been compromised and isn't fully built back up,
Oh,
then
FYI,
that stuff gets a grip on them, and it can be
Willow
deadly.
is a medical dictionary for anybody who doesn't know, whether it
Care,
be animal or human.
yeah, I'm human caregiver for over 30 years, and I have been a rescue foster specializing in um, last chance bottle baby felines. Um, so yeah, I kind of ran the gamut with little babies getting sick with weird, crazy shit that tries to kill them. Um, pretty much haven't covered everything, but yeah, enough to know, enough to recognize, enough to know, you know, when they need to get to the vet, when it's something I can manage here at home. Because as a rescue foster, thankfully my vet is kind enough to work with me and allows me to keep a certain number of medical supplies and medications on hand here at the house for when those rescues come in and need help. And then I keep other things around, electrolytes and all that kind of crap. But I'm not doing as much as I used to. And I'm finding that bottle babies are even more challenging now than they were last year. Um, but I will still do it for as long as I can and ensure that they get a chance as long as I am physically able to give them the care level that they need. Um, I'm not going to take them in if I can't handle them. I will find somebody else that can take them. But so far, so good. Even though I'm in more pain right now at a time that, yeah, going to have a long period of time without pain management. And
My
that pain
first day
level
of
is
not working on
amplified.
anything, Willow is deconstructing a beaded purse
Yeah, the
from what you
vintage.
figure a vintage purse from approximately the 40s, 50s.
Yeah, yeah, this is from the 40s or 50s. This was tucked in. These were the sides, et cetera, et
Okay,
cetera.
Wendy. Much love, dear. Tell
This
Jack
is,
I says hello.
here's the frame that it came on. Oh, yay. Scatter beads from hither and yon. That went well. But anyways, this is the frame that came on it. And it's got rotting threads and what have you. So I'm totally deconstructing it. I've taken photographs and I have drafted an image so that I can replicate, because I love this pattern. I want to recreate the pattern when I rebuild it. So I will do that. And I've drawn out the pattern for the fabrics and everything that I need to do that. And I will recreate it. I took another one apart a couple of weeks ago, and it was really just a basic crocheted bag. I don't crochet, so I will remake that one in an image that I choose that is fitting for the era. That was a 1920s to 30s bag, and I'll remake it and just kind of do my own thing with it. But I mainly bought it for the frame. The frame is awesome. So I scattered beads all over, so I'm gonna get those picked up and put back in the bowl. Actually, I might go grab a jar that I can transfer. Guess I could just switch out for now to this other bowl I've got.
George says he's got 3 poodle cocktail dresses to work on.
Cool. I am a seamstress, but I don't do a lot of human sewing, just my own personal stuff. Mainly, my specialty is fashion in miniature for my doll collection. And I used to do garments in miniature, high fashion garments in miniature, high quality construction for competitions. I used to compete and did pretty well with that.
Well, you did a bang up job knocking them everywhere, didn't you?
Yeah, that I did. Now I want to stick to my sweaty palm. Okay, I'll scoot that over and slide these over to the edge here. I can hang them right into the bowl. There we go. Didn't lose a one.
Awesome.
And I will cap that and start putting them in the empty. I have 2 bowls here because one will hold bugle and one will hold the seed beads. But I'm not to the point of the bugles yet, so I will do this until I get up
She's
next time.
deconstructing it, Cynthia, so that she can reconstruct it. It was falling apart on the inside, and its threads were popped here and there on the outside.
Yeah, the fabric is bad, and the thread holding the beads on is breaking away in places and stuff. There's a few missing beads, but thankfully I have replacements. I love this design, so I am going to reconstruct it exactly the way it is. But right now, I am deconstructing it to harvest all the beads to be able to put them back on. Once I get the new fabric cut and everything and I start reconstruction, I will remake this one just like it is. Might add a little touch here or there, something different, but you know, I don't sell them. I love frame purse little bags. I use them as project containers on when I'm doing crafts. Because yeah, I don't do fancy myself, but I've always loved these bags, and so I have
George
harvested and reconstructed and
George says that he's got the work that he has to do on the is work on the poodle and the A on all 3 of them so that he can sell them when he has his yard sale.
oh cool. So let's see, they're cocktail dresses, so they're not poodle skirts. I've done a poodle skirt in miniature. I mean, the whole skirt was, I don't know, maybe 6 inches tall. Had a tiny little poodle with her little leash look, you know, the standard classic poodle skirt look. But yeah, the skirt was about 6 inches tall. It was made for a 1950s Ideal Revlon 20-inch doll. I think it was the 20. It may have been my 18. No, I think it was the 20. Yeah, it was my 20 Bended Knee, which is the most expensive of the Revlon dolls that I have. Because she has bendy knees. She was only produced for 1 year. So very few out there in the world to be able to claim. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this line.
Oh, which reminds me, did you ever get photos taken of your doll?
Do what, hun?
I said, which reminds me, did you ever get photos taken of your doll?
Oh, to post on the doll group? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that early this last week. Yep, I did a little photo shoot and super simple. They just wanted to see the doll because it has been out of production now for roughly a decade. And, well, not quite. I'd say probably about 6 or 7 years. But some people didn't know what she looked like. Took measurements on the shoes, took measurements on her body, and posted all that as well. So they got everything they need.
What are you doing this evening, Miss Stacy?
Hello, Stacy May. Mary stuff a little jigger.
Looking through things. Hunting ideas.
Oh, okay, George. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's not the Peter Pan collars, it's the pointy ones. You do the pearls around the edges and a little poodle on one side, a little A on the other. I know which ones you're talking about. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while. Do you have iron-on poodles and A's, or do you hand embroider on the collars? You know, iron on or sew on applique, whichever. Where I do miniature, they never have, you know, iron on or sew ons that would work, that would keep with the era. So I always hand embroider or applique the, you know, cut the poodle out of felt and hand embroider it on there and add its detail, which is interesting in miniature because it's a tight job, human size, but you do it for a, you know, say an 18 or 20 inch doll, you know, that poodle's like maybe an inch tall, tops. And
Well, hello, Miss Sharon.
hello, Sharon.
How's Miss Sharon? Well, I hope.
If you notice when I fling these up to put them in here, sometimes they stick. It's because
Uh-huh.
they get gummy from human sweat. Um, these beads will get um, put into a screen colander that is put over a bowl of soapy water with a little bit of degreaser and get soaked and then swished using the colander and then rinsed using the colander and then laid out.
With cheesecloth?
No, I use the screen colanders, you know, on the frame with the handle. Um, cheesecloth, they can squeak through because the weave moves. So unless I like quadruple layer it,
I didn't know if
um,
you used the cheesecloth as an extra, just washing material for it to be
no,
on.
no, they're glass. They don't have an outside finish, so it doesn't hurt for them to bang around in the colander. I've never had them lose their shine or get scratched up or anything like that. Um, I've cleaned a lot of seed beads in my life, and yeah, if they're not color lined in the hole, these are silver lined, which sustains through the cleaning process. But if they're color lined or they have an outside finish, then you have to do it differently. But these are the silver line beads, which are like one of the most durable that they make, and they can take it. Same with the bugles. But yeah, the insides of the holes are black. They're not supposed to be. So they need a bath. That and just get the gumminess off of them because they're sticky. But I do
Okay.
like to reuse vintage beads when I can. So yeah, I'll go through the process of giving several thousands of beads a bath. But yeah, some seed beads don't tolerate that kind of washing. Some don't tolerate any washing, like these cheap dyed ones from China that you get nowadays. It even gets rained on, it starts bleeding the color. It's not steadfast at all or color fast. It's just cheap. And usually you end up with that. You wash them and you rinse them and you let them dry and you end up with clear beads and you no longer have color, which I've done because, you know, I can still use clear beads on other things. You don't find those on these purses though. Um,
No, not on your vintage bags.
no, that's a new thing that they've done. It's kind of like temporary hair color, you know, but people think it's color fast and it's not. Most of your color line beads are not either, regardless of the quality of where you got them from. You know, whether they're Chinese, Czechoslovakian, Japanese, it don't matter. Color line beads, the lining color will wash out. I'm very particular about the beads that I use to ensure that what the purpose is that they're being used for, that they will sustain their color. I'm not gonna sit here and weave all these little buggers and spend hours upon hours doing it only to have, you know, cheap dyes rubbing off or uh, staining the fabric or just ruining the piece. It just drives me nuts. You go to all that work and you end up with a piece of crap that's bleeding dye everywhere.
Seed beads drive you nuts working with them, huh, George?
Oh, I love seed beads. These are 11. No, these are 10-aughts. 10-aught seed beads. I've worked with as small as 22-aught, which they don't make anymore. They're really like antique French. Try to find a needle for those to get through the hole. But I usually work with 11s and 15s. Working with 10s is kind of the equivalent of grabbing a pony bead versus a seed bead. These are so much bigger than what I usually work with. So, but I've also, needle pointed and cross stitched in micro miniature, also known as petite or micro petite. Say you've got an image that's usually 10 by 13 finished. I've done them where they're like this big, like 40, 45 count linen thread, linen material that you would normally go over 2 threads, and I go over 1. So think about your linen shirt and the weave. I'm stitching over 1 thread in the weave of the fabric.
See what George said?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've worked with those. I've got 8s. I've got 6s. I've got the 3s. I've had the tries. Yeah. A lot of what I do is bead embroidery like this, or Native American off loom weaving, like peyote stitch and all that. I do a lot of that. I've worked with beads since I was like early teen, preteen. I've woven beads. I think I was 11 when I got my first loom. And I don't mind loom, but I prefer off loom. Hello, Lisa. Welcome.
Hey, Lisa. Back at you, dear. Hope you've enjoyed your day and your weekend or however long you've been celebrating. And you've been safe. I'll be glad that this heat subsides a little. This mobile home is warm.
And yes, this is my thread. Seam ripper. This is a number 12 cat's claw scalpel blade. And it does interchange. I use these handles because they're ergonomic and comfortable in my hands instead of the little paper thin ones that they generally send you. I've got probably 6 or 8 of these. And I buy the blades in packs of 100 bulk packs.
Back at you, Kathy.
They are the best seam rippers, but they're also good skin rippers, so you gotta be careful. Because they do love to rearrange your hide. Because they are scalpels, they're very sharp.
Exactly, Lisa.
Yeah, well said, Lisa. Same here. Hello, Willow. Oh, hello, Kathy. Same, George.
Yeah, same, George.
We splurged and had our meal last night. We saved up to have a ribeye steak, a lobster tail, a baked potato, corn on the cob, and we're doing quote unquote cherry shortcake for dessert, which neither of us had room for last night, so it's still in the fridge. But it's not actual shortcake. I ended up with a little pound cake, and sis ended up with gluten-free angel food cupcakes because she was able to find a box of the stuff, and we didn't have a bundt pan. She was like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, make cupcakes and be done with it. Worked perfectly. So she has gluten-free angel food cupcake. She thought she had to have the pan. And I'm like, well, normally, yeah, but we don't have that. Cupcakes, that makes the cake mix bundles small enough that they will cook evenly, which is the reason you use a bundt pan with an angel food cake. And yeah, you don't need the bundt pan, and it's already portion controlled, easy for you to pop in your lunch bucket, whatever.
Yep.
She was so excited about that idea, she pretty near cried. Sis isn't one to MacGyver like that. Her mind doesn't go there. You know, she's trying to figure out how are we gonna get a bundt pan, and I'm like, you don't need a bundt pan. I said, we've got little loaf pans down below, or you could just do cupcakes. She was like, you can do cupcakes with angel food? And I'm like, why not? Just adjust your time because it'll be, you know, little portions instead of the bigger. So they probably won't need to cook quite as long, and worked perfectly.
When my mom was alive, Lisa, I always asked her for cakes that she would make from my childhood, when she would random bake.
I like angel food. I don't love it. I'm not a yellow cake person. I'm not a white cake person, except rarely on occasion. I'm usually chocolate with chocolate icing and very small portions because I'm diabetic, so I have to plan to be able to eat it. But you know,
I
I
have
like
to
my stuff.
drive 30 minutes to get to a craft store, George. But
Oh, I
Lisa's
have
like, I
a
want angel food
awesome mom
cake
and pop.
now.
Sorry, Lisa. I have an awesome little mom and pop craft store here. It's been here since I was a kid. And then I don't know what, about 7 years ago, we got a Hobby Lobby. So we have Hobby Lobby now, which is kind of maddening because I've been in there twice in the past 3 years. You know, I used to go a couple times a month, but you know, the current state of the world happened, and that's not an option at the moment. I'm kind of the queen of the clearance rack, aside from my little list. But yeah, the only reason that I went the 2 times that I did was because I needed the 14-inch square by 3-inch wide uh, pillow foam cushion doohickeys, because mine go flat on the pillow that I lean against here on the arm of the chair of the sofa because the arm of the chair is screwed. Um, and I have to lean because of large clusters of Tarlov cysts in the sacral region of my spine. They cause a lot of pressure, basically permanent tailbone injury stuff. But so I lean to get off of the left hip um, and that pressure.
Spade doily pattern. That way you have all 4 patterns.
Hmm. Have you looked online, George, for vintage doily patterns? There are a couple of websites, I cannot remember the names of them, that have published a lot of the old crochet doily books, and you can grab them in PDF. Do some online research, and I bet you will find it. I bet you will find it. Just search printable vintage crochet patterns, and you will find those websites. It's websites where they've taken the really old ones that are public domain now, and I'm still finding seed beads, and they've scanned them and put them in PDF format on the website, free. And you know, you might have to do some looking, opening up some files and scanning for them, unless you know exactly what like magazine they were in or whatever. But I bet you can find them. There, you can pretty much guarantee that it's out there somewhere. I bumbled onto them. I was hoping to learn to crochet for my dolls. So I went on the hunt for free crochet doll patterns and was collecting them up with the hopes of learning to crochet to do that. Hasn't happened yet, but I still got the patterns. Um, and I bumbled onto websites that did that. And I've probably got them documented in a journal somewhere, but it's been so long since I went and looked that, yeah, I have no idea where they would be because I've got so damn many journals. But if not, do some hunting on like Etsy. There are people that take, you know, like in magazines, they would have like a 4-part thing or, you know, a 12-part thing for the whole year and crap like that of collections. They'll get those collections together and then they will sell them as a set or as individual parts of, like on Etsy, of some of the public domain vintage patterns, um, that kind of thing. Check Pinterest. You might find it free on there somewhere. There's so many. I think the Craftsy website, they came back up here a couple of years ago. They might have it on there. Um, there's just so many places on the internet where stuff like that can be found. And I always hunt for free before I will pay for it because, you know, small fixed income. Oops. Here we go again. Time to dump the bowl. Let's dump it into this one. Close her up. Start again. Don't want to have to chase these all over God and country. And knock it over again. There we go. Apparently I'm Captain Funnel Nuts today. I heard one roll. And over here in the corner. There we go. It looks like some of the free movie channels on YouTube are popping up new vids today. Good grief. And yes, I know some of you guys in chat are probably like, how can you sit there and do that for hours? That looks absolutely monotonous. I actually enjoy monotony. I enjoy tedium when it comes to my crafts. I always angle for the tiny and miniature and complex stuff that drives most people crazy. That's kind of my ilk. Welcome to my crazy world.
Try there, George. It's a blog spot link.
Oh, so you're I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, they've got the club and the heart and the diamond and then the spade doilies, made for people to get together and like play gin and stuff back in the day. I think they were 1950s era, maybe 60s, but I think 50s. I know exactly which doilies you're talking about. There you go, George. Stacy May is an awesome crocheter.
Yes, she is.
So is Crochet Queen Kathy.
Yes, she is. I'm a novice. I'm not a.
I'm a wannabe. And yes, I know a lot of people would just be sitting here ripping on down through with the seam ripper instead of pulling them out. For me, it's as long as it is short, just to pull them.
Doilies were never my thing. So.
Oh, I love a doily. I got a drawer full of vintage doilies
I mean,
that I
for
have bought.
making, they were never my thing for making.
Yeah.
That small
Yeah,
thread.
small motif. Yeah, you like more like Afghan quilts and things.
I like to make my Afghans and.
Some people like the small stuff, some people like the big stuff. That's why there's patterns for all out there. And then for the super crazy, there's little miniature, sweaters and things that you can make for tiny little dolls in tiny little thread that you need, the steel crochet hooks that you would normally use for, um, really detailed doilies and things like that. You use those to crochet a sweater, and they have pins that you use um, instead of, crochet needles. These are like little tiny pins that you use to knit for dolls. I mean, I'm sure if I do get crochet figure it out that I'll be doing some doilies and different things like that. But yeah, the majority of what I want to do is like sweaters and that kind of thing for dolls. Because doll sweaters are crazy expensive. And half of them, the thread's too large. They look disproportionate, chunky. You know, the thread's so thick that when you put it on them, they can't put their arms down. That kind of shit drives me nuts. I'm very much wanting that balance and proportion. I'm a Libra. Everything's got to be even. That balance, just like the scale that is the symbol for Libra. Purposely doing things, organically or uneven or, wonky drives me nuts. Oh my God. It's like pulling teeth, having to force myself to do something uneven. I can do it, but it's a challenge.
Are you wanting it to have 6 points, George?
I'll have to research that later.
That's no fun, Kathy.
So, carpal tunnel. Thankfully, I don't have carpal tunnel, but the tendons in both of my thumbs have been shredded. And some of the ligaments have snapped, just like in my shoulders. So. But I don't let it stop me, as you can see. Do my hands hurt? Yes. Are they puffy today? Yep. Does that stop me? Just keep on keeping on. That's all I can do.
Ready.
Because to fix them, they'd have to put foreign matter in my body. And even doing that implant, if that's where my spine stuff goes, it's lower risk than fusion to see if my body would tolerate the foreign materials. But yeah, they might put that implant in and have to jerk it right back out because my body starts attacking it. That's why we're trying to do this nerve ending burn thing first, because it's lower risk.
Ugh. Yeah, sitting here watching Willow, and my hands are tingling right for her. And
Just thinking about it.
I just took a GABA. Thank you.
Yeah, the only time I get tingles is when they start trying to dislocate, which usually lasts just very briefly. And then it goes into a major burn, and then it's like somebody stabbing me in the shoulder blade with a dagger until I get it put back in. And then as I start getting the circulation back, then I'll get a little tingles right at the end, right before it becomes, fully alive again. It's a very brief moment between functioning and needles, and then, needles back to functioning. I have sat here and called an auction and relocated my shoulder while calling the auction, and the tone of my voice didn't even change. I have to do it so often that I can even fake it while I'm calling an auction. Nobody even knows that I've done it. Me too, Lisa. I photographed this pattern and also sketched it and made the template for the fabric and everything before I started the deconstruct. And because I do want to reconstruct this one exactly like it is. It's just that the thread is busted in areas and the fabric is starting to decay. So it wasn't worth repairing because I plan to use it as a project pouch. So it is going to be used more than it would normally be used. So I want to make it and make it strong enough to handle what it's going to go through in my hands. So, and I would just constantly end up having to repair because the thread would constantly keep breaking. I'm like, screw that. Just take it apart, rebuild it, build it stronger. And when I weave these, I don't use cotton or poly blend thread. I use Kevlar. Yes, they have thread made of Kevlar. I use Kevlar. It holds up and it can handle the activity that it's going to be going through. And so, yeah, this will be reassembled and rewoven, but it will be done in Kevlar thread. And the fabric will have, this has a cheesecloth backing, and I will be using much heavier interfacing for that.
Lisa says bulletproof pouch.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, even though this is done in the rounded seed beads and not the two cuts that are raw edged with the exception of the bugle beads, yeah, I will stitch the whole thing in Kevlar just to ensure its longevity. Just because I'm that OCD.
Somebody's cranky.
Well, I can understand why. Somebody hasn't been able to get his formula.
Yeah, well, not his regular formula, but
Yeah, he's getting formula, but it's not the one that keeps his tummy happy. I mean, how many of them did you go through to find that one that worked for him, and now you can't get it?
Yeah.
Even if you offered up a freaking limb, it's just not available. And it's pathetic. That's what the world has become. They keep saying, oh, we're going to import some from out of country. Yeah, I haven't seen it happen yet. You know, how many babies can't just flat have a zero tolerance for anything but and are struggling and starving and, you know, destroying their stomach lining as an infant and will have to live with that the rest of their lives because of this bullshit.
Well, if they're not getting what they need, it's bad on their brain development and everything else. So.
Yep. Yeah, major long-term effects. I mean, you know, last year they were giving out child tax credits, you know, to protect the kids. And this year they're starving them to death. What the? You are in office to take care of the people. Take care of the frickin' people. Putting us through all this bullshit just because they feel that we need a forced recession.
So we had
Forced recession in the middle of their quote unquote pandemic, which I do not believe it is. I believe that it is also induced by the government.
So yeah, here we are. We've got a can and a partial, or should I say, probably a partial can of the Similac soy left. and we've got 2 cans of the
Of something else that isn't the right one.
Gerber. No, 2 cans of the Gerber Gentle soy for him.
Yeah, but
Plus, we've been giving him silk almond and regular silk vanilla, Pedialyte and Pediasure, just to make sure that he gets, his electrolytes and whatnot.
yeah.
Before we ended up finally getting some kind of soy formula.
He's not on the diet that he should be on. He requires a highly specialized diet. I mean, how many cans, like I said, of formula did you go through before you found one that worked for him?
Oh my God, and it took forever to find that.
Yeah, otherwise he hurls it back up. He's not getting the nutrition he needs.
It's been a nightmare.
Yes. You're not the only one. There's others out there
My brother
where the
lives
babies
in
won't even tolerate what he is.
It is Enfamil Prosobi plant-based formula. And it literally says plant-based. Enfamil, plant-based.
Yeah. That one he only pukes up about 30% of, which was the best numbers that they had gotten. And now he's having to drink all these others that he's lucky if he keeps 50% of it down. And he's constantly cranky because his tummy is constantly upset, which is a definitive that, yeah, it's affecting his lining, his stomach lining.
Yep.
And,
And
he was
giving him all this
thriving
other stuff
until this
is
happened.
messing with his tummy so much that it's, impacting his bowels.
Mm-hmm. It's just...
Yes, ma'am.
Facebook is blowing
That's
up.
what it says on the can, Miss Lisa.
Yeah, our local Facebook stuff blowing up. Moms looking for formula, desperate to find formula.
We've tried the Enfamil AR, which is a rice, thinking we might be able to use that. Didn't work. 1 bottle and he brought that stuff up all over the place.
Well, what's even worse is the low fixed income. No problem, George. Hi, Josie. I've done that, George. Don't worry about it.
OTWP? Somebody pick her, I'm sure.
The thing is, they start importing formula. Well, then that's just going to cause shortages elsewhere. And you ain't going to be able to read the friggin' label. How in the hell are you going to know which one to get? And then, you are feeding this to your baby, kind of creepazoid moment, do I or do I don't, do I or don't I, because you don't know what the hell's in that. Can't read the friggin' label. I don't know, it's just sad.
And here's the catch, Lisa. She's on WIC. And she doesn't have it for the liquid cans of concentrate. It's for powder.
Yeah. And then when she's on the hunt and having to get it, you know, some random person on Facebook is not going to take WIC, you know. Online, the websites, a lot of your websites, they aren't going to take your WIC vouchers. Low fixed income don't necessarily have the cash to drop 20 bucks a can. You know, it's a sad, sad situation.
Yeah, exactly. All crap then.
Yeah. You know, so you've got moms starving to death and starving their wean kids, trying to come up with cash to be able to buy, if they are lucky enough to actually get a resource where they could get a can or two. You know, 20 bucks on a fixed income is a crap ton of money.
It is.
I mean, I live on a fixed income. And yeah, if it wasn't for Sis and I having a place together, I'd be screwed. Screwed blue. But she doesn't make that much. I mean, she qualifies as a severely low income. So even though she works full time and works at a university, she's a housekeeper. They don't pay a lot. They gave her a $2 raise. We haven't felt a bit of it because it was sucked right up by the inflation.
They should, Lisa. Oh, yours went up 55. Okay, Josie. I know that you said that you were getting your rent increase.
Yeah, ours went up 30 last month. And, you know, that comes out of my check.
I didn't know who you were telling me I should check with.
Holy crap, Josie. Drop the one and add $15 to the $270 part, and that's what I pay a month in lot rent. $295. I pay $295 a month in lot rent now. It was $265. And that's why we bought the mobile home we did and stuff, because yeah, not going to get an apartment for $295 that, you know, isn't an abandoned shack. And, you know, even abandoned shacks, they aren't going to take pets. And yeah, we had 9 pets when we moved here. You know, nobody's going to take one, let alone 9. And so that's why we did what we did. Yeah, we pay property taxes, which we're disputing again because they've jacked it up again. But even with that spread out of the 12 months, we're still way ahead. Way ahead. And then where I'm low income, I get levelized to help with the electricity and the heat, and then I get LEAP. That also helps. And they've been boostering that because of the prices as of late. They have been giving far more.
Ditto that, Lisa. I could pay Miss Josie's rent, but we'd starve. We wouldn't be able to pay no utilities neither.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way we could pay that. No way at all.
I'm gonna go see what I can do to help Papa with that little one. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll hold down the fort. Well, I've just about got this bottom weave done. 3 rows left. Yeah, the way they do this is you put on your beads and then you just lay it down and then you go back over every 2 beads and you lay a stitch over the thread between the beads. That's how they do this. So each one of these grabs, I'm grabbing 2 beads. Each section between the threads. And like I said, yeah, I could take the seam ripper and just go underneath and pop, 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 but then I would have all these thread ends that I would have to pick out of my beads. And I would rather do it this way than have to do that because I find that maddening. I had to do that with the crochet bag that I took apart last week or week before, one of the two. And yeah, it's monotonous. You have to go back through them like 3 times, picking out threads. It's just super annoying. Because when these things are clean, dried, and bagged up, or put in a jar and ready for rebuild, yeah, I don't want threads in there. I don't want to have to wrestle threads when I'm picking up beads in my bead spinner. Once I get done with these strips, then I'm going to go through and start popping the stitches on the bugle beads. And I'll get all the bugle beads out. Then I will start taking out all the clusters of seed beads. But I want to get the bugle beads out of the way first so that they are bagged separately. They'll get cleaned as well. Anytime I deconstruct something vintage, jewelry or otherwise, the beads get a bath. I do not like working with dirty beads. Because once you start doing this kind of thing and you're working with the textile, you got dirty beads, then you end up with like the funk in the bottom of my fingernail right there that can get transferred onto your new fabric. Nope, I want clean beads. When I do a jewelry deconstruct, yeah, I end up with mountains of beads and they all get a bath. They get bagged during the sort, then they get unbagged and washed and dried and then rebagged and then labeled and all that before they go into my stash. I'm OCD about my stash storage. Say that fast 10 times. You can ask Tina. She's got a couple of care packages from me where I shared stash with her to help her get her business started. And yeah, little zip bags. I have them that are half by half inch, 3/4 by 3/4, 1 by 1, 1 by 1.5, 1.5 by 1.5, 1.5 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 3. Yeah, I have a whole array of bag sizes because I don't like excess bag. I want the bags to be the right size for the amount of beads because excess bag takes up space in my storage. Yeah, when I say I'm OCD, I mean it. I am batshit crazy about how I store my shit, how I do shit. You ready to go, or are you just hanging out? Okay. Knock that off. And yes, my threads, if they are 100% cotton and not a poly blend, they get snipped into 1-inch snips and put into a baggie and put out in a bowl on my deck, on my table in the spring for the birds to use as nesting material. I do the same with 100% cotton fibers. I will cut them into little strips to where the threads within it are small enough they cannot tangle or wrap around the bird's leg. And I will add those because I use like a big salad bowl and I put it out there for the birds in the spring. Put about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in the bottom of this big bowl and refill it daily as needed during nesting season. And then we have beautiful, colorful nests in the trees. I love that.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, dear. Did you get figured out what was up with the little man?
Oh, I went in there and fixed him up a jug and Papa put him in his pen so that Papa could get up and do what he needed to do.
Yeah, he's in his playpen, laid back having a snack.
Sure.
That'll work. Last row in this section.
Yeah, Give me just a minute, Miss Stacy.
Okay. Oh, that'd be cool, Stacy.
Sometimes I'm free with putting the link in the chat. Sometimes I'm not.
Yeah, she kind of uses her spidey sense on that. You never know what's lurking. Kind of have to on YouTube. Josie, this is a vintage framed purse. I love framed purses. Let me get the frame. This is the frame that came on it. This is a 1940s to 50s framed little beaded clutch. And some of the threads have rotted and the fabric is starting to decay. So I am deconstructing it. This one, I really like the pattern, so I am going to reconstruct this just as it is. I've taken photographs and done sketches and all that. And this one will be reconstructed just as it is, just on new fabric, and the beads will all get a bath and get dried, and then I will reuse these beads. And if I'm the areas where I'm missing some, which there's just a few, you can't really see them, I don't think, on the camera. I do have more of both of these beads, so I can easily replace any that are missing. And they are of the same vintage too, so the patina will be similar.
Oh, hush.
You know, if there's any stray patina after they've had a bath. Usually these wash up pretty clean and they come out nice and clear with the silver line. But yeah, I'm taking it apart and then going to rebuild it on new fabric that is similar to what it has, or whatever. And I've got the lining. I will make a pattern out of the lining. I will deconstruct the lining and use it to make a pattern to replace the lining, because this one in particular has like a pocket in it and things. So yeah, I will remake the lining. The lining is nasty on this thing, like lipstick and funk and all kinds of schmutz and
Yeah, that lining was gross.
yeah, that lining needs help. But I will uh, deconstruct it and make a pattern from it and replicate it when I reconstruct this. And the frame will get cleaned because it's got a pretty thick layer of schmutz on it. It should be nice shiny silver, and it's not. Um, it's all discolored and stuff, but it's not. The finish hasn't broke through, so it is restorable. And I will remake this bag. And the thread that I will use, because I use these kinds of bags since I'm not a fancy girl going out and partying and doing shit where I need these. I use them for project totes to carry little needlework or bead projects around in, to doctor's appointments and that kind of thing. And so the thread that I will use to rebead this is Kevlar thread, the same material that is used to make bulletproof vests. The thread that they use to do those is the thread that I use to bead these kinds of bags when I rebead them, because it will hold up and it will last against any raw edges, like on the edges of the bugle beads. It's not going to cut through that Kevlar near as easily as it does standard cotton or polyblend threads that they use when they make these. And that bag will outlive me by a long shot. Yeah, I'll be working on it. I've got I've got a black one that I deconstructed last week, the week before, doing this one this week, and then I've got a blue one, a bigger one, to deconstruct yet. Then I will, well, probably before I get that other one deconstructed, I will start setting up this one for reconstruct. The other one, I don't crochet. It was a very standard, but the beads in it were valuable. I will reuse those beads in other projects or in reusing the frame on that bag, but it won't be reconstructed exactly like this one will be. The third one, I haven't decided yet. I've tried to photograph the motif on it, and it's very difficult to do, so I'm gonna have to either sketch it before I deconstruct, or
Hi, Mom.
Hello.
hey, Stacy.
There we go.
Anyways, between that and the needlework
All right.
projects
Now I
that I'm
gotta
working
plug
on,
in my mic. Hold on, my earphones. Hold on a sec. Okay.
what you gonna make, girlfriend?
Stuff.
You gonna make another magnet, or you gonna change it up?
Well, I did some jewelry earlier and finished off a couple of magnets and whatever, but right now I wasn't planning, so like I set up at the moment is magnets.
Well, just grab what inspires you.
Later, Jessica.
I'm trying to figure out, because I don't go on other people's whatever too much, so it's kind of like trying to figure out where I hear me,
You
where I
just
don't
do
hear
whatever
me.
you want to.
Yep, you can just
Okay.
grab colored pencils and a picture and color it. You know, it don't matter. You don't have to craft, you know. I just tend to craft.
I don't have to what?
You don't have to grab. You can just grab crayons.
No. I don't have to what?
She's like me, not craft. What? Yeah, that's not in her vocabulary. I hear you. The only time I don't craft is
Okay.
when I'm just
I don't.
not with it or in too much pain.
Josie is working on her junk journals.
Trying to figure out that, because I usually
your
use
butt on
dual
here, Josie.
headphones because I have two devices when I'm alive. So I'm just trying to figure that out right now. If I hear me or not. I
Oh,
don't
you hear
hear me
feedback?
there.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. No. Oh no, I'm all headphoned up. I don't do the feedback thing.
Oh.
I have an earplug and a headphone. See,
Hmm.
without my earplug, I can't hear me.
Yeah.
And it's repeating, so it's going to be very interesting.
Oh. Little pause, so the scalpel gets put away for the moment. The beads get capped because
See, like whatever you or Ma says, I hear, but then I hear it again in my other ear with my speaking, so it's really weird. Anyway.
Oh, there's the little one.
There's the munchkin. She's gotten so big. Yeah, she's still asleep. She was sleeping somewhere and came, and she just kind of laid back out over here by me. Yeah. Oh, big old stretch. Well, now she's got herself in shadow. Hi, honey. Little jazzy girl.
Oh, that baby.
Yeah, she's just stretching and kind of looking at me glassy-eyed. She's not very awake. Yeah, you're not very awake, are you? No. But yeah, that's when
Your mind may run across me here.
The scalpel gets put up, the beads get capped, and we take a break.
Because people are starting to do fireworks in my neighborhood right now. So.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
They've been doing them here on and off all day.
The supervisor is starting to flip out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not supposed to do them in the park here, but yeah, they do it anyways. Oh, I guess we're gonna show my finger. Does that taste good? I mean, I'm handling nasty old purses, girl. Yeah, there you go. Go for the
There
pinky.
she
I don't
is.
use the pinky.
That's Stormy.
Aw, there she is. She's your guard cat.
Yeah,
This one
I'm
loves
more
chewing
like
my
her guard right
fingernails.
now. Okay, George, I'm waiting to see the email to come through. I haven't seen it yet. Did you spell it correctly? Yeah, because I know it's kind of difficult sometimes. I even spell it wrong sometimes. It's my email.
Yeah, I was sending a payment to a gal in my doll groups that offered up some shoes for the price of shipping, and I was sending her the shipping payment. Oh, there's an RJ. Hi, little man. What you doing? Hello. Hello. How you doing? RJ. There's a grin. Well, almost a grin.
Need the baby.
Okay. Sorry for the crazy hair, guys. I gotta wave at the munchkin where he can see me.
I don't
So
see it
yeah.
yet, George.
Hi,
Ah!
Chelsea. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Willow.
Hi, RJ.
Hi, George.
Hello, little guy. What you doing? Yeah, there's that grin. There's that
I'll
grin.
make sure I typed it right. Yeah, I typed it right.
Hello, sweetheart. What you doing? Yeah.
Maybe
Ooh.
you can't copy and paste it. Maybe it's because sometimes that happens with
Give
mail.
Grandpa a run for his money,
Don't know why.
like normal.
It has to be typed out.
You want to see the munchkin? There's the munchkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
See the
Hello,
baby?
munchkin.
What's that?
Okay.
We're more interested in going and helping Callie do kitty yoga. Full Monty. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm over here, Lisa.
Hi.
Peekaboo.
Where'd she go?
Peekaboo.
There she is.
Ooh, where'd she go? Peekaboo.
Cheers.
It's okay, baby. You stay there.
Willow playing peekaboo with you.
This lady's nuts. Am I nuts? Yeah, I'm nuts. I'm crazy.
Okay, Miss Josie.
Hi, Josie.
Hi, Josie.
Hi, Josie.
Take care, honey. Boo.
That's it. Where'd she go?
Peekaboo.
There's Auntie Willow. There she is. Where'd she go?
Peekaboo.
Hi, Miss Cynthia.
He is looking at me
Thank
like,
you.
what the?
We play peekaboo at night right before bed.
I washed my hair and I just combed it straight back, and now I got the whole bang curl thing going on. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, easy keeper.
Then I've been sitting here
Well,
sweating. I mean, I
Don't
really
worry
had,
about the hair, darling. I mean, come on.
I had
Really?
sweat dripping off my nose. I'm sitting here and I was like, no, needlepoint ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I was gonna do
Can I go
cross
back to
stitch.
Papa? All right. You go back to Papa.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my other camera then.
Hey, tell everybody bye.
Huh.
Bye. Bone kisses.
Okay.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye, babies.
RJ.
Okay, George. S as in Sam, I as in glue, N as in Nancy, C as in cat, H as in Harry, E as in elephant, T as in Tom, T as in Tom, A as in apple at gmail.com. Because I still don't see it. and I have 2 separate devices, so I know I should see it somewhere.
Yeah, you put it in here earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I think he first copied and pasted, and then I told him try to type it in rather than copy and paste, and I
Yeah.
still don't have it. So I don't know what the heck's going on.
Emails sometimes just funk out. Hell, texts have been funking out. Sis, she ordered a new phone. Because I would text her, she goes to do grocery, and she doesn't normally do the grocery, but she's had to do it during Rona. And,
Mm-hmm.
I was always the person that went and did all the groceries. And, so she has to text me or call me with questions a lot, even now.
Right.
And she would text me, and I would reply back, but then she wasn't getting them. So she would call, be like, are you seeing the text? And I'm like, yeah, I'm replying back. And she would have to call me to ask me the truthful
Yeah, but
questions because she'd wait and they weren't there. And, that'd be like on a Saturday. And on Tuesday, suddenly her phone would blow up. And all the texts that I had sent to her over the weekend showed up on Tuesday. Well, fat lot of good that helps when you're standing in a grocery
well, I
store.
don't normally have
waiting
that
for a
issue,
reply.
so that's not really. I haven't had that kind of issue. So
Yeah, we have.
maybe I got it.
And that's
Hold
the
on.
thing. We're wondering if
Yep, I
it
think I
isn't her
did.
phone. So we
Peek at what he's doing here.
we're replacing her phone, like we can really afford to drop $40 on a phone, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh wow, are those 2 cuts? Oh, there is 2 cuts in here. Oh damn. Okay.
Oh,
Another jar.
and you're using fishing wire. So you're looking for. Okay, I got it.
Monofilament.
Got it. Now I got the bead. I thought he was going around the beads themselves, not using beads to make the. That's why I was like,
You having a
I'm trying
WTF
to.
moment?
I was just thinking, hey, to go around. Well, first of all, it's really tiny if it's an 8 millimeter bead. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that's why I'm saying, are you doing micro crochet or whatever? And so it's like, I need to see what you're talking about because then I get. Okay.
I've had moments like that. I've had
So you're
people, my
looking how to do a
explanations weren't the
spade that
grub.
way.
Yeah. And I've had to send them photos because they couldn't make
Well,
sense
I
of what I was
wouldn't want to
saying.
say it would be almost straightforward, but I kind of would think it might be almost straightforward. Obviously, you've done a few of these types of pieces. I mean, this is not something new you're doing, right, George?
The Munchkin's laying quietly, so I'm daring having my stuff out. I'm gonna have to get up and get another one of my little bowls out here in a moment. I wasn't seeing these tiny little rows of 2 cuts at the top of the points.
Easy, Katie. It's too hot for loving, so you'll have to stay right where you're at.
I'm wondering if maybe they just didn't run out to put those in there because I'm not seeing them anywhere else.
Yeah. So you're doing basically like, can't think of the name of it right now, like loom work, but whatever. I can't think of the name right now. I get what you're doing now, and so you're looking to do a spade in that. Have you ever done a heart?
Do you need me to make you bigger, Stacy, so you can
Not
see
for,
anything?
not for the moment until I kind of get where he's at, because I got an idea in my head of how to try to maybe explain it, but okay, so you've done a heart. Okay. Yeah, make me bigger. I gotta go grab a piece of paper. Hold on a second.
She's gonna doodle.
I have got to get me another pet brush for these cats. They are matting something terrible from losing their winter fur.
Uh-huh.
Even though we pet them on a regular, they are matting terrible.
I just have to shear them down for the summer.
Ugh.
If you shear them now, they'll be thick enough for winter. They'll have to grow back.
Okay, George. On the heart,
But you want to do it by
not
the
the
end
point
of July.
and the other side. Did you do one solid row across of how many beads? And then how many did you do to create the curves, whatever the next rows were that you did?
Yeah, the decreases. Is he doing what, like a right angle weave, or?
He's doing like hand loom work, kind of,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah.
in a shape, not, like a band or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not just a banner.
Do you have the heart? Or do you not have it in your possession? Or do you have the pattern you did the heart from?
Or a picture of it. Some means of it that you could use for reference.
Because what I'm trying to figure out right now is how many he went across here, and then how many he used and then ducked back in and came back and whatever to create the curves, what he did up here.
Yeah.
So that I could figure out how to tell him how to do
The stem.
the base. Yeah, the stem of
Yeah,
it.
the point and stem, yeah. Because you take the curve out the top of the heart and you basically invert it and make it a point. And then
Well,
add the stem.
no. Because basically, here's the heart. All you're doing is the same thing this way. But what changes is when you get to this part. So instead of making it where it dips in here, you would continue across and probably another row. But come
Yeah. Yeah, you just remove
in,
the
yeah,
point.
just do the decrease out here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Then
and the
add the
decrease out
stem.
here. And then bring down.
Yeah, you could always refer to the heart that you have to get your baseline of number of beads across and stuff, and the decrease
And
going
bring
to the
down the
point.
stem. If you kind of get what I'm saying, George. I'll do this again. Can you make me Big Ma?
Yeah. Give me just a second.
Thank you, honey. I just want to show him this real quick. Okay. So your heart shape, right, George? And you came across and you did X amount here. And then you decrease inside and outside to create your curves, however you did that beading. Well, instead of decreasing here at all, you decrease your outside and you keep going here. As row, then you would do, because I don't know how many beads, I'm just using circles just to. Okay, so you do the 3 here, and then you come back in, and you come back up. So you're leaving that gap. And then you come across, and then you come across, and then you add and come out to create the bottom. So that when you turn it over, you get the spade shape.
Yeah, it looks like a spade.
You understand what I'm saying? Oh, good. He gets what I'm saying. Good. Okay. Goody. Yay. See, but now you see what I'm talking about. It's basically the heart upside down and you work it exactly the same way until you get to this point. Once you get to the widest point, you would just decrease out here to create a heart shape out here. And then that last row that creates the last curve of the heart, you would come back in and then come across, come back in, and then come across. You know what I'm saying? Do your return. And then boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, it's all about that decreasing.
That answer your question, I hope.
Yeah, basically, if you can't find a pattern, then just redo the heart and modify it slightly. And
Yeah, because a spade is the heart upside down with the stem.
Mm-hmm.
But I get sometimes you can visualize something, and you can't visualize it because you've already made a piece. So he's always looking at that shape like a heart, you know?
Yeah. And if you need reference with her image, just
I'm saying you could take a screenshot of this thing so you kind of maybe can remember what the heck I said.
Well, that and when I was doing a Google search, you could always just look for, instead of a doily pattern, look at a standard crochet pattern for a spade.
Yeah, but I'm surprised they don't have this because it's not.
Because I've seen standard crochet patterns for a spade.
Well, yeah, but when you do beading, the spacing is a lot different, so you can't visualize it the same way as crochet. It's kind of a little. It's every craft they're similar in a lot of ways, and sometimes it could be just this little tiny thing that makes it so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some crafts will.
Okay, did you get your picture, George? So I can take this back down, and she can put me back smaller.
Like you can take any cross stitch pattern and turn it into a diamond dot.
Yes.
But yeah, some crossovers.
Well, actually, you can use cross stitch for this kind of stuff too.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna assume you took your picture. Take that away, Ma. Thank you, honey. I'm one of those problem solver people. I can't. It would have drove me nuts until I figured that out.
I can be that way too, but my figure it out usually hits my brain a few days later.
Well, once I got what visually exactly he was doing, then it was like, oh, okay, this is how you can do that.
Your light bulb went off.
Yeah, because it is also related in the same way with crochet or macrame or all that. Because even a macrame pattern would have, if he could have found one of them, would have gave him probably got him in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, there are crossovers that work from one craft medium to another. It's just being able to MacGyver up any slight variations, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, I hope that helps you make your spade, George.
Well, I gotta cap these and get up and go have a pee, and then I'll grab another little jar to put these in. For now, cover them up. I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh, the fireworks. I was like, what is he talking about? Oh, the fireworks.
Still too early for fireworks here. Still daylight. Sunset's not even till 8:32 Central for me. All right, no problem, George. I just hanging out here, chilling in my room where I'm always at.
With some company.
Like I said, I figured that I would go live this evening. I didn't know, who's doing what for whatever reasons, and I know that we don't go anywhere. We don't do anything anymore. Haven't for years, you know. And of course, I know we had little man because Mama's at work, and
I'm back.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. I hear fireworks.
Yep, yep.
You hear my fireworks?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Yep, loud and clear.
Wow. Well, I have earphones
like-
on. I don't hear. I barely hear them.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds like
headphones.
somebody's popping major popcorn.
Oh yeah, they do that around here.
Like King Kong popcorn. They'll be starting up here about any time.
Like I said,
It's usually closer to nightfall.
Still daylight here for us. So.
Yeah,
Well, I'm in Florida, so.
yeah. Yeah, we got about an hour before it goes dark.
It don't even go dark here. Sunset's not till 8:32 here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my Florida room, so they're sort of insulated walls, but it's not like a part of the house. But even then, you can hear them inside. They're so loud.
Well, this is a mobile home, so you hear them and feel them because they make
That's
the
what
house
I'm in.
vibrate.
Yeah, I'm in a mobile home too. I'm in a
Yeah.
single wide. Well, that was a good one. I heard that one.
Yeah, they're out there for sure. I mean, I'm sure they're probably going off around town, but sis may have heard them when she was out. I don't know. She just got home. She's putting her
Yeah,
groceries
so
away.
far they haven't started going off in the mobile home park yet.
Well, they're not supposed to go off at all in the park here, but they do it anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
But
yeah,
that's what I
well.
was saying earlier. They at least this year they haven't set them off in the dumpster yet. Last night they were setting them off in front of it.
Uh-huh. You can bet somebody's setting them off in a dumpster somewhere. They always do.
Mm-hmm.
Try to light them up.
You see, we have dumpsters in the community instead of having your own individual trash barrels
Mm-hmm.
for the trash man to come and pick up. But one of the other mobile home communities, well, two of the other communities, they have individual cans for the trash man to pick up. I think we're the last one in town that has dumpsters. Which saves me a little bit on the bills per month.
Well, yeah, because some of them you have to pay separately in communities, and some of them it's like cities. So it just depends on the community, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like when I first moved into my place, almost 27 years ago now, I think it was like 27 years ago. We had to pay for the bags to put them in,
Mm-hmm.
but now we have city,
Yeah,
so
that's
we
what we
get
have.
the big
We have these tight trash cans.
bins. Well, we got these. No, we got huge trash cans.
Well, we have to buy trash bags at the grocery store, but the city used to have some, but the prices got so high they were like 4 times the price of, like Hefty in the store.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy expensive. People weren't buying them. But I remember Mom buying them from the city, trash bags, back when we were kids. And they'd bring them when they came to pick up the trash and drop them on we had this metal thing where they put milk in for milk delivery. They'd set them
Right.
on top of that. Yeah. Yeah, the trash guys, when they came to get the garbage, the dude driving would chunk them out to them and they'd run them up and set them on the porch. But this was back when I was little. We get milk deliveries and we got trash bag deliveries and
Yeah.
stuff that, yeah,
Baby girl, you can't come right next to me. It's okay.
They-
Just go lay down. I'm
they
right
just
here.
don't happen anymore now.
Sissy Puss is wanting to lay right up against me. I'm like, no, no, no.
Yeah, mine's trying to get practically in my lap, and there's no way to get to my lap right now. Come on.
I'm short and I've got a belly. I don't hardly have a lap. I didn't used to have the belly. I got rid of the belly. I lost 120 pounds, got rid of the belly. But then my thyroid and my adrenal gland blew. And guess where the fat goes after that? Right to your belly. I don't have an ass. My ass cheeks are just a dangly little wad off of each side. No ass.
You got the no
now I got this.
acetol issue, huh?
Now I got this gut. Yeah, I have to roll my ass up, shove it in my underwear.
Yeah, with the weight that I've lost, Jordan come in last night or night before. She's like, I need a mama scratch. I said, okay, I can do that. So I'm sitting here scratching her back, and my bat wing was busy doing this thing. I said, my lunch lady arm was doing its thing here. Like back and forth.
Yep, the waggle, the
Yeah.
wannabe muscle waggle. Yeah, I definitely got those. Put it to you this way, guys. 3.5 years ago, I was toned. I mean, I had in spite of my shoulders, I had whatever arm muscle could grow, whatever bat wings could grow muscle. My legs, I was toned. My gut was down. I had excess skin. Can't help
Hmm.
that. But yeah, and then my back blew, and then my adrenal gland, my thyroid blew, and then my
Hmm.
knee blew, and I'm still maintaining the same weight zone, but I don't have the tone.
Right.
But originally, when I was doing all of that, my goal weight was between 150 and 160, and then we were going to consider skin surgery, which would have removed another 20 to 30 pounds,
Right.
and I would have been within my weight range and BMI for my height.
Yep.
But yeah, when your joints start blowing to the degree that they seriously affect your mobility, and you can't do the stretches and everything that you used to do, yeah, it really affects things. I still do what stretches I can, but they're a fraction of what I used to do. And all the stretches that I did were prescribed to me from physical therapy. I was doing the same physical therapy stretches that were given to me 15 years ago, you know, and the ones from 10 years ago, and whatever else they tossed at me. I just give me an image, and I added it to this flip board thing, and I would sit there and go through all of them.
Right.
I do that twice a day. Either once a day every day or twice a day every other day, whichever worked for me schedule wise. Well, what prompted it for me, George, was my mom passing and having to move, um, and having to move more than my lifetime's worth of stuff from my folks' house. And, accomplishing all of that and doing all of that, and then just not particularly having a huge appetite. I thought, okay, well, if this is the way it's going to go, then I'm going to do it in a controlled manner. So I talked to my doctor and said, this is what I have planned. What do you think? And they thought it was perfect. So I rolled with it on, small meals and stuff. I didn't diet. I just ate what I could and made sure that I did that at least 3 times a day and 2 snacks and did it within my carb range because I'm a diabetic and everything. And yeah, I majorly dropped weight and put on muscle and, uh, I wasn't bulked up, but I was toned. I can't bulk, and I can't tone everything
Hmm.
because, like the main strap ligaments on my shoulders are gone. They snapped, and there's a bunch of other smaller ones. So there's some muscles that aren't connected to where I can tone them because you have to have those ligaments to do the tugging to shred the muscle, that tad bit that causes muscle build. And some
Right.
of that I can't do, but I did everything I could. Mine passed in April of 2014, George, and my dad passed in November of 2003. And I took care of both of them till the end. Sometimes intensively to the point where I had to quit work and stay home and take care of them to get them through a surgery or
Supervisor,
whatever.
please. Follow me. Come on. Go lay down over there.
But, did what had to be done. And because of the times that I took off to care for them is why I'm 1.5 job credits short to qualify for regular Social Security disability and ended up on SSI because they
Yes.
didn't have a carer program here that you got work credits as a carer. So, yeah, that's why I'm where I'm at now. But would I change it? No. Is it a struggle? Yeah. But would I change it? No. I wouldn't pass up a minute of the time that I had with them, whether we got along or not. You know, It didn't matter. That kind of stuff was set aside, and I was a caregiver, and I did it ethically and with love and carefully did my research, advocated for them the whole bit, you know, and I wouldn't change a thing. I'd do it again. But yeah, my body, I knew when I was young, I was told when I was young that degenerative joint disease would affect my life, and to not do
Right.
certain things, definitely do other things. And I did all of those things to the best of my ability. But as a caregiver, when you got to pick up your 180-pound father, you just do it. Even though you
You
have a
do it.
10-pound
Yep.
weight limit, you just do it.
Yep.
You know. And so I did. And I was shoveling snow on a January morning because Dad wanted to be able to get out of the driveway with the vehicle to go have coffee with the cronies. And I took a series of 3 falls because I had a sinus infection at the time and my equilibrium was totally screwed. And I'm walking around on snow with about a half-inch sheet of ice underneath. And so I took 3 falls that day. And those falls popped ligaments and dislocated both of the butt pedals to my tailbone stuff. And they had to relocate those. And that took months to get them to stay where they were supposed to and heal from that, left permanent damage, caused and the impacts from the falls caused mass bone spur or osteophyte overgrowth throughout all of my joints. And within about 10 years of that, I was bone on bone on 90% of my body. And now I have trace cartilage, and the discs in my spine are starting to rupture and things like that. But do I let it stop me? No. Does it slow me
But
down?
you're still here.
Yeah. I'm still here, and I'm still kicking.
Chug
I'm still
along.
fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't let it stop me. It might slow
Like
me
me.
down, but I don't let it stop me. And I do all of this without narcotic pain medication.
God, I froze up. Did I freeze up? Is that just me?
I have narcotic pain medication available to me. I get a 7-day supply,
Maybe
and
not.
that 7-day supply
I
lasts
do what
me
I
a year
can
or
to
more.
my both.
Well, that's interesting. On the
Otherwise,
StreamYard, everything is frozen. But on the Facebook, everything's fine.
well, that's weird.
Yeah. Totally frozen. Time, everything. That's the
Okay.
weird. It's like
Well,
everything.
Last thing I just seen was George just popped up with a message.
Oh, the time just started again. Now I'm moving again. Wow, that weird. Oh, you got a message? That might be what it was then.
in the 90s, George, my dad, and I did the craft circuit. He worked with wood, and I worked with wood and made jewelry. AK working with wood, doing the painting and detail work that he couldn't do on the stuff because of his old hands. But yeah, we worked the craft circuit. We had a double booth and would set that puppy up. And it got to where he wasn't able to help set up, and I couldn't do it myself because of my health, even at that point.
Yeah,
And so we had to quit doing it.
he's in here messing with something.
But that didn't stop us from creating. I ended up going to work as a manager in a used bookstore, and the gal let me display my wares there in the store and sell them. And Dad,
That was neat.
he made like wooden Dutch windmills, big
Baby
ones,
girl.
stuff like that. And he displayed a few things in the bookstore, and the big stuff he displayed literally out in our front yard, and sold it right out of the yard. So it worked out, and it helped to supplement our incomes and help provide what was needed in the household. And wasn't quite the same as going to a booth, a fair, but it still provided what was needed at the time. So it was all good.
It's been many years since I've been able to physically do a craft fair.
Yeah.
Hence why
There's no
I've
way
got
we could do it now.
over
We don't even
1,000
have-
products sitting in my house.
Yeah,
It keeps growing.
we don't even have any craft fairs here that I know of at present. They kind of died off.
I
Because
don't know.
everybody just displays and shows their stuff on Facebook now. You know,
Yeah.
why go to a fair and have to pay rent for a booth and all that
Yeah.
when you can just slap it on
Facebook
Facebook?
or Etsy,
Etsy.
or all that nonsense.
Yeah. The internet world happened and the physical ones were gone before Rona. They weren't
Oh,
there
long
anymore.
before.
Yeah. There's some areas that still do craft fairs, but around here, thing of the past. They might do them in some of the bigger cities here in the state, but I don't live in one of those, and I live way too far from them. And it hurts to drive across town, so why would I want to drive out of town and then have to try to put up a booth? Yeah. I'd be done then. I wouldn't have sold a thing yet, you know?
Right. Yep.
So, kind of pointless. I
That's
don't make
exactly
sell
what happened
anymore.
the last one I did, and that's what made me stop. Is by the time I got done setting up, I was ready to take a half-hour break, pack it all up, and go home.
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah. You get to where it's just too much physically to even bother. And, you know, that's the wonders of the internet. But I don't make to resell anymore.
Yeah, but then because we can't, because of our financial issues, it's like,
Yeah.
it's very difficult,
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I could start tomorrow and not have to make anything for at least a good
Just
6 months.
Yeah, just selling your
Just
stash.
selling what I got.
Yeah.
Okay, George has got a short book here. He said that he teased his mother, and she did the same to him. She used to sew and sold her crafts up in Washington, Idaho, and Montana. Also, everything is good there. Talking about when you were frozen.
No, I can see.
Stepfather did woodworking also. Might remember his mother, Ruth Dudley. Their craft booth was Desert Mountain Crafts, talking to Willow. I don't know how far up you and Dad went and set up.
We just did ours here in the state of Kansas. And just in the southeast part here. I think the furthest we ever went was Burlington, which is, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes as a crow flies and probably 20 if you take the highway. I don't remember. I haven't been to Burlington in a while. I think we may have did a couple other little towns around, but I honestly can't remember.
Boy, oh boy.
It's been so long ago. I mean, I know we did Americus, which is like 5 minutes away. We did them a couple, 3 times.
Really? All right. Now behave.
Taking you out?
Well, yeah, she's kind of encroaching on my space, so it's making me lean funky. Yeah, she's encroaching over here.
Well, I got Callie right here on the arm of my chair. The munchkin left when Sis got home, so she had to go see what was up with that.
Yeah, she usually will lay in the back area,
Yeah,
away from right where I'm at. But because
Yeah.
of these darn fireworks, she wants to be right there.
Yeah, she wants to be touching you.
Yeah. Yeah, my elbow is touching her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just insecure because of the loud sounds.
I mean, she seems very calm. She's not like freaking out or nothing. But
yeah, she's not bouncing off the walls, but she's just,
George says she never
a little
sold
squeamish.
Stuck up north, and says Stacy, that's one pretty kitty.
Aw, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, it's the baby of the house.
Well, y'all seen my baby earlier. My oldest was laying there next to her, but my camera didn't want to twist quite that far. And if I torque it, then I have to torque it back, and then it usually wants to start dropping, and it ends like an inch from my work, and yeah, pain in the butt. I've got to get a lock washer and put on the screw pin that the snake goes on because it keeps unscrewing itself and flopping down. So I got to add a lock washer to it. I just got to hunt one up out of my stash in the other room. And I just keep forgetting to do it.
Yeah. This baby girl had a twin who didn't make it past 3 weeks. He was they were identical except that she had the white spot on her forehead. Other than that, you could not tell them apart except that they were a male and a female.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a tuxedo kitty. She was a rescue. Actually, our dog is the one that rescued her. She had somehow managed to get into our yard and was up under a little trailer thing that you put on the back of a riding lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
To carry like garden supplies around and stuff or whatever.
Right.
She was tucked up under there. It was parked next to the garden shed. She was tucked up under there, and Sarah, our dog, found her, came and got Jennifer. Jennifer went out and followed her lead and seen and came and got. They both came and woke me up. I was having a nap, and I went out and she was hit by a car, broken hip, major road rash,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of teeth busted off,
Oh.
tips of her fangs had got nipped off.
Mm.
Thankfully, she didn't require dental on that. They just gave them a buff when they was able to stay her and put her under. But it took a couple of months, 3 months, for her to heal and recover enough to be able to do any of that. She was not in a good way. She was a bag of bones. She hadn't been eaten. She was dehydrated. It was getting super hot out. So I turned on my AC in my workshop out in the garage and set her up in there in a crate and got her stomach turned back on, got that flowing well, and took her to the vet to clear her of disease after I got her rehydrated so that they could draw blood. And I kept her sequestered in the garage until she was cleared of disease or quarantined before I brought her in the house. And then recovered her. They had done an x-ray on her hip and it had popped through, but it hadn't busted. And they seemed to do well with that. So they just said, just let it granulate and heal or calcify and heal. And it did. She never had to have surgery on it. Got that healed up, got meat back on her and everything, to the point where she was stable and healthy to be able to go under anesthesia to get spayed. And then they buffed those teeth. And seems like there was a couple other things that they checked. Oh, she had a nail or two on her back feet that were ripped out. And those were tended with the first visit, the de-quarantine visit. They looked at them, made sure, and that they were good and cleaned out. And they had to do it while she was conscious. So I had to hold her carefully because of the hip. She was just super hurting. But they didn't want her lurching while they were doing that. They cleaned it out and just taped them shut because there was no nail bed left. So they just taped them shut so they'd heal.
Yeah.
And I monitored those, kept watch on them for infection, anything like that. But we got her healed up, got her spayed and everything and stuff. And she was with us until she was estimated 6 months old when we got her because I knew when the mother had her. And so I had a rough estimate within a few days of her age. So we put her at 6 months and got her all healed up. And she was with us until she was, I think, 16. She passed away, old age. So, but yeah, she was Amelia Charm was her name. We called her Charmer. But yeah, she was one of Sarah's rescues. The other rescue that Sarah had was a little white mouse on New Year's Day, freezing cold out, and she found a baby white mouse up under the lilac bush, and somehow she talked that mouse into riding on her tongue to the front door, and it climbed off of her tongue onto the porch and was sitting there up on its haunches cleaning itself of dog slobber, and she was barking and going mad at the door. Again, I was taking a nap. Sis answered the door. Sarah was freaking out. She pointed the mouse out to Jennifer. Jennifer grabbed her teacup, tipped it upside down, dumped the tea out, and then put it upside down over the mouse. Came up, woke me up, because she wasn't touching a mouse, and came down, and I lifted a teacup off of a now slobber and tea-covered little baby mouse. It was rather indignant. It was
Sorry, that
hilarious.
was too funny.
I held my hand
Oh
out.
my god.
He climbed up on my hands, went right back onto his haunches, gave me a look, and then proceeded to continue to clean himself. And I had a little temporary thing that I could put him in, and then I got around and headed out to Walmart to buy a cage because Sarah wanted to keep her mouse. That was her pet. And so Merlin
That's crazy.
came to live with us, and that was Sarah the dog's mouse. And we would put him in the
Excellent.
exercise ball, and he would roll around, and Sarah would play with him while he was in the ball. And yes, it was a he. So yeah, had to keep that cage clean because yeah, a whole lot of musk going on. I mean, their testicles are almost bigger than they are. But we had him for a little over a year, and then just he died of gluttony, sheer gluttony, because he turned into a tub. And if you didn't put food in when he asked for food, he would squeak and the dog would bark. It was like, feed my mouse or else.
I think I'm done.
Okay, we fed the mouse. So yeah, he died of gluttony. Then he had allergies to the bedding that I'd gotten, so I had to treat him for a skin rash and change his bedding. And Sarah was indignant to that because she wasn't understanding. You know, it didn't smell right. Yeah, it was an interesting adventure that year or so with that mouse and the dog.
I'm sure.
Yankee,
yeah.
it's a cute name. Well, she's Stormy because actually my other half brought me home three kittens that fit in, my two hands, the palms. Hours old, probably. They were caught out in a rainstorm where he was with a client, and he saw him there, so he actually almost stepped on one. That's how he found them. So he kind of poked around the corner of the house, and he kind of waited and peeked around every once in a while just to see, like, 45 minutes, rain's coming down, just to see if a mom would come back. No. And he was like, I can't leave
the rain
these.
someplace else.
Yeah, but he was like, I can't leave these babies in this because it was storming. It wasn't like just that rain.
Yeah, it was nasty.
So he went and picked them up and brought them home. He goes, hey, I got something for you in the car. And I'm like, oh, okay, God only knows, Hold your hands out. Okay. Go like this, and next thing you know, I had 3 kittens in my hands. And this is the same man that at that time we had just lost one of our cats we had for 14 years, right around them. And we had already had the mom with her litter that we had, and he said, no more, and then he brings me home 3 babies.
Yeah.
So her twin, like I said, lasted 3 weeks. Poor thing. It was just failure to thrive. No matter what I did, it was not happening. And then her sister died at 14 months old. She basically laid outside of my house in the grass and passed away. Something congenital.
Yeah.
No idea. And I have her. So because they were found in the weather, she was storm, he was thunder, and the other kitty was rain. So that's how that name came about. I think I'm done with this one.
Okay. Yeah, when I was young, my dad, he would, I don't know, he had something set up with some guy here locally. Bunnies that were abandoned by the mother. I found out as an adult that he was a meat bunny breeder. But bunnies that were abandoned by the mom would be fostered out. And I became a bunny foster, not knowing that it was meat bunnies. Yeah, that went over well. Yeah, Dad got reamed to the end of his life almost. But yeah, I would raise them up and then return them. And,
Thinking they were going to their happy little farm.
Yeah. And yeah, once I found out the truth, nope. I remember when I was little, we had our house, we had field on all four sides when I was a little kid. You know, it hadn't been built up or nothing. It was just field on all four sides. And the field next to us was owned by the elderly lady next door, and Dad would mow it on occasion. And I told him one morning, I said, let me go out and check for bunny nests before you mow. No, I want to get this done. He wouldn't let me go out and check. And yeah, he ran over a bunny nest, and the bunny scattered, and I had to go chase him down while I was cussing at him the whole way. Yes, I was a little kid. I was cussing a blue streak to him. He wasn't going to stop me either. He knew better. And I ended up doctoring and raising those bunnies and then releasing them back to the wild. And the ones that survived anyways, 2 of them died. One of them got scalped by the marblehead. I couldn't save it. But yep, I raised.
Yeah, large open wounds like that are very, very difficult.
Yeah, these were little. Their eyes were like just opened. They were that little.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so that kind of wound, yeah, very difficult.
Yep. But I did release them back to the wild. I took them out and got them in the clover patch. I had a little metal cage frame thing. It didn't have bottom, didn't have top. That I had MacGyvered out of some type of stuff that he had out in the shed. And I would take it out daily, put it in the shade in a clover patch or something like that, I'd catch bugs for it.
Damn, that sounds loud. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was that loud.
But, I didn't handle them any more than I had to, except just to nurse them, to keep them wild. And yeah, once they were weaned and they started getting a little cray-cray, then yeah, I would take them out and put them in the little frame, the little cage frame thing that I'd made. And then I would put bricks on one side to where it was accessible to go out underneath it. And I'd basically do easy release.
Right.
And if they came back, then fine. If they didn't, fine. And, I would just do that until they all didn't come back. And we had, there was some in the police.
I was born and raised in the Bronx, but I was also raised going up to the country every weekend.
Yeah.
I did fruit and vegetable picking. I did all that kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I had bunnies, I had chicks, I had, the gerbils, the hamsters.
Yeah, I had gerbils and hamsters.
Basically, if it was furry and not considered an insect, I probably had one.
Yeah.
Or 2, usually a pair.
I would have had reptiles too, but my folks wouldn't let me.
Oh, my cousins were the reptile folks.
Well, my dad was terrified of snakes. So yeah.
All right, George, you have a good night. I don't know how long ago he split, but sorry. It's clearing up the area. Trying to think of
Take care, George.
Only a few minutes ago.
But,
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
raised
So
a
what
lot.
that
I was
drastic.
just letting you
Okay.
ladies chit
So-
chat.
So anyway, so the bunnies. Now this will tell you, Donnie and Marie.
Yep, that
Now-
timestamps them.
Yeah. So Marie used to beat the hell out of Donnie and eat all his food, no matter what I did. And he started losing a little bit of weight. And my mom said, you know, they'd probably be happier up in
Separate.
the country. No, up in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom knew people and, you know, with farms and stuff like that. I mean, when I said I
Yeah.
went up, I was up in the country doing all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, even though I was a city girl. So we brought the bunnies up there and released them up there while he was still healthy enough to come back from
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of weight loss that he had, because it's very easy with bunnies to
Yeah.
lose them. And we
Yeah.
let him go in a big ass clover field. Oh, sorry, a big clover field.
Tina's used to it.
Swear words are fine on here.
Oh, okay. I did.
This is not a PC channel.
Okay.
Yep. Let her rip, Stacy.
Well, I'm not that bad. Oh my gosh.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Hey, Tina's seen me mad. She's seen me let her rip. She's seen me let her rip the straight face.
I've had
And,
mic drop moments, so
Yeah, Tina's the one that saves it up, and then it's just a simple sentence that is an absolute mic drop moment. Just stops people in their tracks. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm just
I
trying
don't
to think
have
of what
them
I.
often, and that's what throws everybody off. They know I'm ticked if I have a mic drop moment. Because I mean, I really don't swear much. I mean, I might say shit, damn, hell,
I mean, I have been known, but it's not like
and I will
common
drop that
vocabulary.
F-bomb every now and again too. I might even say cunt once in a while.
That is the one word. It's just like, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to talk about this. It just makes me cringe. Y'all ever see the Poise commercial? Where they talk about, oh, she does her job with poise because she also has poise in her pants.
Oh, yeah, from back in the day, yeah.
I'm like, no, it's a current commercial for
I haven't seen it
poise.
in a while. Yeah, I haven't seen it
Oh
in a
my
while.
God. I heard that. I'm like, what? That just doesn't even sound right.
Yeah, that was,
You know,
kinda
plus
leaning
some people
towards
have, like they say, people have the aversion toward the word moist. I don't have a problem with the word moist. And it's the same sound. Poise, moist. But that commercial, for some reason, that triggered that kind of cringe in me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
So
that's
sometimes it's,
terminology that,
I
yeah.
don't have.
to me, leave poise the word as I know it.
I get tired of hearing them repetitively. And that's what I do. You know, that's what I tell my 18-year-old son. You know, it's like, if you're ticked off and you're using something, that's fine. But just random because you wanna,
Right.
is, you know, he's 18. He doesn't know how to swear properly.
Right.
And he doesn't. I'm like, you know.
Well, because it's like breathing. It's not
Yeah.
like we are, where it gets to a point of us getting there and then, whoa, you know. Where them, it's every other word, every third word.
Correct.
It's like, what?
Yeah, they don't know how to make it count.
Right, exactly. It's like,
You know,
really?
Yeah.
swearing is done with grace and panache and enunciates and, you know.
Mic drop moments.
It
Yeah.
explains what you're getting across.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, he doesn't know how to swear properly. He just drops words wherever and thinks that he's doing it.
Well, part of that too, and listen, I'm right at the cusp of the age where I could talk about this stuff.
I don't either.
No, what I'm saying, I'm right at the cusp of the age where I could talk about this reference. But back when rap first came out, mainstream, it was more about unity and love and hanging out, normal like stuff.
Yeah.
And then when it started changing and all
Then
the
it got
curse
nasty.
words and all the real strong nastiness came in. Okay, it was one thing when it was like, oh my God, did you hear that 2 Live Crew tape? You know?
Oh, which one? Me so horny on there?
Yeah, I'm saying, did you hear that 2 Live?
Yeah, that was back
It
in
was like a
96.
novelty.
Yeah.
You know? But now it's like, you listen to this stuff and it's like, are you saying anything but a curse word or a derogatory statement to a woman? I'm just saying it's changed. So the younger kids, they don't appreciate the value of a curse word.
Right?
Yeah. Or it's no, there's no risqueness about it anymore.
Yeah. You're desensitized. It's become too mainstream. It's not an art anymore.
It's just like, movies and television, people are so desensitized with all the different things that are shown on there with, different nudity, sex, violence, etc. I
Right.
want to watch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good horror flick like no other. The more gruesome and gory it is, the more I like it. But then
Okay.
again, I also like the more wholesome shows.
Right.
Give me Little House on the Prairie. I'm happy.
Yeah, but Little House on the Prairie had some really like moments in that
Oh, it
series.
did.
You know what I mean?
It did. But so that's what I'm saying though. It's like give me Murder She Wrote, things like that. Highway
Right.
to Heaven. I'm good.
There was a story to it. A story
Yeah.
that counted. And not just, random stuff with a bunch of
Not
cuss
just
words and
somebody
sex.
going into someplace they shouldn't, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're fucking, for lack of a
Right.
better word. And then all of
Well,
a
that's what
sudden,
it is.
and then next thing you know, somebody's taping them or some crazy shit like that. I don't know, because that's pretty much all that's in these movies anymore.
All right. I want to ask an opinion, ladies, because I don't know whether I should keep this as an earring set or just do 2 pendants with it eventually, or what. These things are big.
Make her big, if you would, Tina. Please.
Oh, that was a pair of earrings.
It's a pair of earrings. But I
And-
think they would make awesome pendants.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
pendants. Those are way too big.
I mean, they're not real heavy. I mean, it's not a matter of weight. It's just,
Yeah, but more and more people don't have a neck.
well, that's true.
Just saying. But a pendant? Pendant would be beautiful.
Personally, I'd use it as a pendant.
Yeah. So I'm going to crochet around it. But
Yeah.
No, I would just bead around, do some beading and of course some painting and skip the crochet. I would decorate it, make it more ornate.
Well, It has stones. All through, like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the center, and then 1, 2, 3 on each side, so 6. So it has like 11 stones on it. A little hard to see them, but
Yeah, those are pretty.
no. See, I look at these things, Ma, and my thing is I tend to incorporate crochet into
Yeah, that's your
everything
jam.
in some way, some shape, some form. It's kind of my
Or you
thing.
could make an ornament out of it.
Hmm.
Use the two of them together, front, back.
Oh, you mean like this? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
an
not a
idea.
horrible idea. But what it is that where these stones are, they're like indent, so they don't lay flat against each other. That's what I'm saying. It's like an indentation behind the stones,
Yeah.
so they don't lay flat against each other.
Oh, where do you go be? There we go.
Just throwing ideas out there.
I know, honey. No. I was just thinking. I mean, I was thinking, would it be? I should have done this a while ago. Oh, Lord. Crazy brain. I mean, because they're pretty ornate.
They are.
So I like I said, I want to just edge it and kind of frame that, but I didn't know whether I should do a little bit smaller edging and maybe keep them more as an earring, or do a little bit bigger edging and make them more of a pendant. That's where my thing was on these.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of an ornament.
The
I
two
almost see a
together, is it?
butterfly in the filigree.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, you can see a couple of things in here. Almost looks like
Yeah.
a butterfly. Kind of looks like a tree.
Yeah. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Kind of like looking at clouds, and you see all these different
Yeah.
shapes. There's pieces of jewelry that do that to your brain. You start seeing all these things in it.
I'll just set them aside
Just
again
Sandy
for the
does the
moment.
floating silver over copper cuffs and stuff that she does. You
Mhm.
can sit there and look at the things for hours, and there's new shapes that pop up that you see in the float, in the silver float. Munchkin's in there talking. Sis is getting their bowls ready,
Yeah.
getting ready to feed them supper.
This one's over here sleeping.
Their evening snack.
Sounds like the fireworks, at least locally here, calm down. But give it a few moments. They'll come back.
Everybody will drive home and get home and start blowing off the ones they got in their garage. That's what they do here. They used to have our fireworks display thing at the fairgrounds, but now they do it at the university downtown. The university started doing their own little thing there, and then the city just kind of quit doing theirs and lets the university do it now. AK, they were too cheap to want to even buy the fireworks for the display.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's getting them fed here before they start going off locally. Because 2 of the kitties go hide. He's bringing it, Aspen. Yeah, she'll get it here.
Say, about time to feed them before they go hide, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why she's going ahead and getting fed.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's getting them fed before they start going off here.
Believe it or not,
starting.
I can barely hear you, Willow.
Really?
Oh,
I
that's
hear
weird.
her. I hear her perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's weird.
Am I a lot louder than her, or?
No.
Okay.
As well as quiet for a change.
That's strange.
I ain't complaining.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Listen to ya. I love you too, girl. Love you too, girl.
It's just weird.
Well, there's not a
Yeah,
whole
I
bunch of people in the chat. It's just us basically right now.
Yeah.
Well, the master mic on my computer I have turned down to like 30% because when I first started going live and calling auctions, everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're so loud." So I
Yeah,
kept
they
turning it
do.
down,
They
turning it down,
complain.
turning it down. Yeah, when I mod for
Well, it
Christianity,
gets
I
the
always have
attention of the
opinions.
person that turned and walked away or they wanted to do something real quick. Oh, crud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Somebody put in more money. Oh, no.
Well, you know,
Run.
some channels when they have like round robins on the regular and that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah,
really
they
get
don't
to
turn off
conversing
the...
and they really get to conversing and kind of forget to leave airspace for the mod to call the auction.
Right.
Especially when the mod is supposed to, you know, call the auction. You know, here's such and such is coming at this, such and such is coming at that, and then you do the going once, going twice at the end. They want that vocalization, but they don't leave airspace for me to do it. So I would have to overtalk them or talk over them. They would tell me, talk over me.
It's just the three of us, and with those of us that have our chats popped open, showing a lot, that's in the chat. So
Oh, you can make me equal again. I'm good.
if anybody is still just lurking and listening, that's great. That's fine. But I've been up for 3 hours now, so I'm going to call it. And
Okay.
if you want to just hang out in the back, that's fine. We'll continue to chitter chat.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, we do that on the regular.
thanks for hanging out, whoever's still here. Enjoy your firecrackers and fireworks, and if you're listening to them, watching them, whatever. So have a good one.
Yeah. Have a great evening,
We're
y'all.
out of here.
We'll see you on the
Bye.
chat.
Bye now.